Hello and welcome to B3an Pod, the media and reading and writing podcast. I'm Liam.
I'm Natalie.
And I'm Kirsty.
And today, in this episode, we're going to go through one of our favourite actors, Tom Hiddleston, his career, and we're going to be talking about his latest TV series, The Night Manager. Mixed reviews amongst us. We've done another Bean Google story, which Natalie has done for us, and she will read us out. We don't know what that is yet. Our writing segment today, we're going to go through some of our writings that we've done through a technique we call Write It Like Bowie. We'll explain that before we start it. We've got our 5 Minute Faff and we've got another pod challenge, which I'm not looking forward to because I got the bad one last time. So, without further ado, hopefully we won't chatter on as much as we did in the video game one, but we're going on to Tom Hiddleston. So, Natalie, would you like to go through some of his IMDb page?
Okay, yeah, so I just brought up his IMDb to see, well, how many I have actually seen of his films, and it turns out quite a significant amount. I had too much time on my hands in uni, clearly. So I think the first one I've actually seen was Unrelated, which is a 2007 film. It's, I honestly can't even really remember it. It was just like...
That memorable.
It was that memorable. It's like a family
thing, I think.
Yeah, it was this family that's on holiday, and he's a bit of I think he was a bit of an annoying person or something. He was one of the annoying characters, but there's not much to it.
It's not by any stretch the main character.
Yeah, I mean, I even went so far as to watch his episode of Casualty. Just Suburban Shootout was a fantastic series, actually. I'm so sad that they didn't do a second series. It was actually very good.
What was that about?
Suburban Shootout is basically this couple move into this village, new home, and then people come over and with like welcome baskets and things, and say, "Oh, welcome to the village," and things like that. And it slowly turns out that there are two sides in the village, all run by women, who are like their husbands have no idea what's going on, but all the women are sort of on two sides. So one set of women want the village to be run one way and have everything done a certain way, and the others want to do it a different way, and they literally come to explosions, bombs, guns, everything. But it's actually really funny as well. And and Tom Hiddleston is this couple's son who comes back from travelling abroad, and he starts forming a relationship with the daughter of one of the ladies who's a bit one of the very forceful ladies who's trying to get his mum onto her side. Yeah. It's quite amusing, and it really I wish they could have done more episodes. It would have been so good, but they only did one. I think they only did one series. It was really good though.
So a lot of you would have found Tom Hiddleston. He plays Loki in the Marvel films. Yeah. He stole the Thor film. He stole the Avengers film. In fact, he steals every film that he has been as Loki, because everybody loves Loki.
If you watch the deleted scenes for the first Thor film, most of them are Loki scenes, because they realised he was stealing the film. Yeah. It was actually called Thor.
Yeah. May have to change the name of that film.
Yes.
But in that sort of sense, he's almost like your Iago in Othello. You know, it's Othello, but Iago's the main character, really, when you look back on it. Loki is almost the main character in the Thor film, whereas in sort of superhero films, you should probably focus more on the superhero as opposed to the
I have a working theory on why everybody likes Loki so much in this film, beyond, obviously, Tom Hiddleston being fabulous, is the fact that the way films are constructed these days, we are programmed to root for the underdog. Thor is not the underdog in Thor. Thor is, he's grounded, basically
favourite son as well.
If you look at it as an underdog story, Loki's the underdog. We are programmed to want to root for Loki these days. Cinema hasn't always been that way. Stories haven't always been that way, but it's the way it is now. Yep. So we've been programmed to root for the underdog, who is, in that instance, Loki.
And I suppose Tom Hiddleston, the way he sort of acts and the way he is as well, he's not the biggest of guys either, and he's very politely spoken.
Yeah.
And you would almost see, if you had this big brooding bloke come along, he'd suddenly be the underdog. I mean, he's not the underdog. No. He'd probably talk down anybody, but it's it's just I don't know. He was brilliant in it. He was the one thing I come away from Thor. That was the one thing I could remember was him, and the sort of almost sense of actually maybe he wasn't that much of a bad guy.
Yeah. I think everyone had that. Yeah.
You kind of feel like he slid into it without quite meaning for it to go as far as it did.
Yeah.
You know. It's like it started off as a prank, and then he found out his whole world was a lie and went a bit mad.
Yeah.
Which is, the underdog bit that we're talking about.
For me as well, the Thor actually got me into the Marvel films because before I was like, yeah, I'll get around to them, so I'll watch them at some point. And then I watched Thor and went, this is fantastic. I really like this, and it was because of Tom Hiddleston's performance as Loki, and it just it seemed to knit the whole story together for me really well.
So other things he's been in, things like Only Lovers Left Alive.
Kirsty and I have watched that so many times. We watched it every weekend for how many or something like that.
Several times.
Yeah, several times.
And then separately as well.
But it's the whole concept of it because it's a new twist on vampires. It's something.
It's vampire lovers called Adam and Eve, implying that they are the first.
Yeah,
and they are the only ones who still genuinely.
Yeah, and they have old traditions and all these. They have so many things that they have to stick by, and there's things like they always wear gloves. They have these gloves and they have to have permission to take them off.
It's not the normal vampire traditions.
No, it's very, very odd. And it's basically about how all the blood in the world is going bad. So vampires are actually struggling now.
Humans are corrupting their own blood, which can poison the vampires.
Yeah, so it's basically them going, right, how do we survive in a world that's going so bad? Yeah, so that they can't keep up anymore and they have to decide what to do. But it's quite dark in some places.
Yeah.
But it also does
Tom
have its
Hiddleston's
light.
character is the dark side of the pair.
Yeah.
Tilda Swinton,
she sort of tries to lift it up.
Is the lighter one who goes and lives. He shuts himself up with his music.
Yeah.
And his dead poets, basically.
Yes, basically.
he loves.
Yeah.
All the great thinkers. That
Yeah, and Eve blames them all for him being so dark and brooding all the time.
He keeps finding all these dark, brooding people to hang around.
Yeah.
It's really not fair.
He's not afraid to take sort of the darker roles. You look at things like Crimson Peak as well.
Yeah.
I haven't actually seen it.
And that's actually quite funny though because I don't remember her name. Who plays the girl? Who plays his wife in it? Mia. Can't remember.
I can't pronounce
Unpronounceable
it.
W surname.
I can't remember.
Kalski or something.
Yeah, but she is also in Only Lovers Left Alive, but in that one she's like an annoying little sister.
She is effectively his lover's annoying little sister.
Yeah, basically.
Who does pounce on them like a cat in a couple of scenes.
She's fantastic though. And so then you watch Crimson Peak, it's like, wait, you're at it again.
I've not seen Crimson Peak. We tried to see it, and it was in none of the cinemas around here, which is like when we tried to watch it.
I've had to watch it since.
Yeah, I've watched it since. Yeah,
the one thing I got from it, in terms of horror, it's not really horror. Gory horror. It's more a psychological horror, which I think.
That's why I had to get my dad to watch it with me. I needed someone in the room to support me.
Why didn't you get me to do it? Damn it.
Because you weren't around, as usual.
But it was...
It's my function.
Yeah. It was that sort of psychological horror that Guillermo del Toro does really well. Yeah. Especially things like Pan's Labyrinth as well.
Oh god, Pan's Labyrinth.
That is, the eye monster.
The eye monster.
But it was that sort of psychological thing that really give it that edge, and he had that almost menace behind him that you didn't think he could do.
Yeah, but at the same time, is that quiet menace, but at the same time, the story unfolded quite well, where you find out what those ghosts are and things. All the ghosts she keeps seeing, you gradually find. The first sentence in the film says that. You'll find out.
I didn't know that.
You'll find out. But yeah, it sort of unfolds. It goes from sort of sinister and not knowing what's going on, and it slowly unfolds, and you go, actually, maybe I can handle it now. Maybe it's not as it sort of eases off slowly. I mean, the horror doesn't ease off, but it's still you're not quite as psychologically messed with.
So, what other films have you been in? The other ones I can
Hollow
think
Crown.
of. Yeah, Hollow
Oh,
Crown, the
fantastic.
TV series Hollow Crown.
Really good.
He was briefly in War Horse, amongst many other British thespians.
Yes.
I really like Midnight in Paris. Kirsty doesn't want to watch it because you're not very
I'm not
keen.
a fan of some of the actors in
Yeah.
You mentioned this the other day, and
Yeah.
I've only seen half of it now, because for some reason...
I mean, it's not a fast-paced film or anything.
I turned it on midway through.
I was running out of
Sky
time, because we were catching up with The Night Manager, which we'll discuss later.
Yeah.
But it started okay. It's a Woody Allen film, and I'm not the biggest fan of his films anyway. I find him very pretentious. I almost find him sexist quite a lot of the time as well. But it was a weird style of film.
Yeah.
And it's not his usual style of film either. But Owen Wilson's character, if you haven't seen it, Owen Wilson's character, he's a writer.
Yeah.
He's got a bit of writer's block. He's gone to Paris with his fiancée to see if he can
Basically,
do something
fight
in
the
his head.
block somehow.
Yeah. So he takes a walk in Paris and
Yeah.
he discovers he ends up back in the 1920s where he meets people like Tom Hiddleston's Scott Fitzgerald and many other people from the 20s.
Yeah, and they start giving him advice on how to get through this block.
Yes.
I've done my terrible thing with this film that I really should stop doing is I have Sky Movies. I've turned a film on, maybe 40 minutes in, watched it for 10 minutes and kind of gone, I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah,
and
that doesn't
turned it
help.
off.
You need
Some films you can pick up halfway through and it's fine. Superhero movies, action movies, perfectly easy to do that.
It's like Pacific Rim.
Films that actually you need to pay attention to, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
I've done it with that
It is a very pay attention film
Yeah, it
when you
is.
think about it.
You do have to.
So, other things as well?
Wallander is a good series.
I liked
I
Wallander.
do like that. Especially if you like murder mystery things.
Yes.
I mean, you're going to like it.
Tom Hiddleston's character is not a particularly main one. He's
No,
not in,
no,
he's not in
but-
it over much.
No, but just
He's
the entire
the,
series is...
It is a fantastic
They
series
are
nonetheless.
good. They are good.
Yes.
Yeah, what else have we got? I was looking at things that I've seen, really.
Well, cool.
Coriolanus.
Yes,
Yeah,
on the
Coriolanus.
Shakespeare front.
Yes.
Yes.
That was
That was.
That was
fantastic.
That's so good.
Yes.
And to be honest, after Hollow Crown, we should have expected it. I think that's why
Yes.
we went there. we were like,
And
we
the
have to see
particularly
this.
refreshing thing about Coriolanus is it's not a Shakespeare play everyone knows.
Yes.
It's not like Romeo and Juliet or anything like that, where everybody knows what the story is.
Oh.
So it was the first time I've sat down to Shakespeare, being a bit of a Shakespeare fan myself, and not knowing what the story was.
Yeah.
So sitting down to watch Shakespeare and having no idea where it was going to go, and it was brilliant.
It was very
And also
good.
funny. I do remember the two of us being
there
there.
were some funny...
There were a lot of people who looked like they'd come to the cinema viewing of it to
Yeah. We were
to
probably a couple of
be-
younger
Yeah,
people
they're
there.
like, we're watching Shakespeare as a highbrow experience, and we're just sat there giggling our heads off.
Yeah.
You scandalised looks.
Yeah. Well,
It's like it was funny.
I know. But
Understand it? It's
they're-
funny, trust
they're
me.
Not, yeah. If you understand it, you really do get into it like that. Okay, so what else? I mean, unless there's any others that the two of you have seen. I mean, I've skipped a few of them because there's not much to say about them.
Sort of more his later releases that you've got.
So-
You've got High Rise is out this year. I'm
High
actually
Rise,
looking
yes.
looking
It
forward
looks
to
very
that.
odd. I don't know what it is
I've not
yet.
seen the trailer yet. I know it's out, but isn't it out?
It's
Almost
one,
out, I
It's
think.
one of those
Yeah.
plots that doesn't really make sense. I think it's going to be one of those films you have to watch to understand what the plot
Yeah.
is.
Yes, the trailer's not really doing any kind of plot.
Yes. Apart from the fact they're all on this high-rise building.
Yeah.
I mean, that covers it.
Yeah.
That explains the title.
There are strange goings on in a high rise. Is about
Yeah.
as far as I've grasped.
Basically.
But then again, that was the same as The Raid, and I don't think it's going to be anything like The Raid.
Slightly different tone, I believe.
Yeah. Literally, the summary on IMDb is life for the residents of a tower block begins to run out of control.
Strange happenings in a tower block. Though.
Yeah, I think we summed it up pretty well.
Yeah. But then again, like I said, it could be that in The Raid, and there was police
Yeah.
punching drug addicts. You know.
It looks a bit more artsy than that, I think.
Well, I don't know. I mean, if you've seen the choreography, that was quite artsy.
In talking about, there's like a slanted TV on a weird angle in the and somebody with paint splattered on them in the trailer, I believe. So
That's
might be a different trailer.
yeah. That's different from the trailer I watched. Anyway, so
flickering about
and then we've got some things that then we come up to the Night Manager.
Yeah, which
But,
is
there are a couple of things that are in filming and pre-production at the moment as well.
Skull Island, I think,
Yeah, we
is
got
one of them,
Kong
isn't it?
Skull Island and Thor Ragnarok is in pre-production.
I'm
at the
looking
moment.
forward to immensely.
Yes.
Yes. So we're going to
all
go
are, to
on
be
to the Night Manager,
Which is
which
obviously
is an adaptation of the, I'm probably going to pronounce his name wrong horribly, John le Carré story, famous for Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy,
That's a good film
things
as
like
well,
that. Smiley's People,
Confusing.
Spy Who Come In From the Cold, very spy thriller. A lot of talk from this series is it's almost like a precursor for Tom to be the next Bond. Whilst I agree with it in some ways, he's very charismatic as a character in The Night Manager. So in this story, the idea of him as Jonathan Pine is that he's going to... he used to be in the army, and he works as a night manager in various hotels. And one evening, a woman comes up to him with some documents about a certain character, Hugh Laurie's character. Sorry, could you repeat the name? I've forgotten his name. It's been a couple of days since I've watched it.
It's Richard Roper.
Richard Roper. And it's all about an arms deal. And through spoiler territory, unfortunately, we will put spoiler warnings on
Yes.
is the fact that this poor woman ends up dead because these documents weren't meant to be leaked out. And through fortune, he ends up at a hotel where Richard Roper stays, and then they devise a plot with a branch of MI6 to try and bring Roper down and get in amongst him.
hence where it turns into a spy thing.
Yeah, hence the spy thriller. It's very tense. It's
At the
quite
moment,
brutal in places.
There's only been
as well.
3
Yes.
episodes out of 6 at the moment. We're at the
The
point
fourth one.
Today.
The fourth one's out as we're recording
Yeah.
this. So the fourth one will already be out when we put this podcast out.
So who knows what will happen next?
Yeah, so
we have only seen the first 3.
yes,
Out of
we've only seen the first 3. I tried reading the book online, but I'm not getting very far into it at the moment. But generally, I quite like his books anyway. They tend to grab my attention. But it's one of those stories. It's a very slow burner. Now, a lot of talk at the moment is Tom Hiddleston to become Bond. As Jonathan Pine, he's very charismatic. He can do the whole sneaking about. He's very intelligent. Can he play the physical side of it?
So far, he's been doing okay with the scenes they've had in Night Manager, but we haven't had too many so far.
I think he's capable.
He's capable. I think he's daring enough to do it as well.
Well, yeah, he'd be daring enough to do it. Obviously, my choice for the next one would be Idris Elba, but I don't think Idris is interested in playing Bond. But he would be my choice because I think he carries the charisma and the sort of physical threat to it as well. Interestingly, also in Thor.
Yes, true.
Yes.
But yeah, as a series, I've liked it so far. I found it very.
But I think you're
tense.
right. It is a slow burner. Sort of. It's that there are moments of action and moments of like, whoa, what the hell is he doing? Or something. And then
there's a certain scene at the start of episode 3
Yeah,
that was a bit of a
so
shock.
It takes you by surprise, but I mean, it's not. You're slowly being taken through the story. It's not, and you're not just being flung through it.
I'm actually kind of finding it quite hard to hold my attention to it. I don't know if that's because I'm reading a particularly good book at the moment or something.
That wouldn't help.
Yeah, it's. I think it's taking too long. Certain. It's hard to describe why it's not holding my attention.
I think
but it isn't.
I know what you mean because in some way there are some moments like, especially in the third episode when it's switching. They're trying to establish his new role. Like they're trying to show you what his new role is now and how he's playing it out and how he is getting close to Roper. But it's very back and forth. Like you don't know. it's not following it doesn't follow as smoothly as it could have.
It's not very linear.
No, it's not.
It cuts back to...
And because it's not very fast paced either,
Yeah.
you can start dragging yourself along through it.
I'm coming to the conclusion that this is possibly 6 episodes too long.
Yes.
Yeah, it might have been alright as 4.
Yes, I'm coming to the conclusion. My dad has given the opinion, which I'm agreeing with, that these particular books, they tend to be movie adaptations is great, because in 2 hours it's brilliant.
That's all you need.
6 hours is probably going to be way too long.
Yeah.
You know, there's going to be an awful lot of...
It definitely does feel like they're trying to stretch it.
Yeah,
it's overstretched.
There's a little bit of filler.
Yeah, I mean, the first episode, you could tell, it was literally just, this is the guy, this is what's happened, this is what he does. That was it, that's all you had.
And it wasn't until the end where the plot really started to get going.
Yes.
I mean, when they say that's called the page 17 moment in the script,
okay.
Which is where a plot starts to develop. The first 16 pages in the script, you're setting the story, and page 17... roughly, is what triggers the story to go forward.
Okay.
So let's pick a random film. Let's say A Bug's Life. It's when the grasshoppers. Thank you. I was about to say cockroaches, and it's not cockroaches. When the grasshoppers leave and Flick goes into the big city, that's the page 17 moment. If you watch a film, you suddenly realise that you start seeing these things because you also have your high points and your low points, but you also have them in each episode as well. But with the Night Manager and with a lot of things, you get certain films, I suppose, that are too short. I tend to find it with the Wachowskis. Things like I firmly believe the Watchmen as well, that was recently done by Zack Snyder, who murdered it. Sorry, it's one of my favourites. But if that had been a TV series, I think they could have fleshed it out more, and it would have been a much better thing. Whereas in the movie, there's a few plot points that were missing that I really think took it out of the story too much. And then Zack Snyder put in a 6-minute sex scene to Leonard Cohen, which is possibly the worst music you could possibly have in that situation. I don't know what he was thinking at that point. But anyway, going back to... Tom Hiddleston, I'm going to continue watching it, obviously.
Yeah,
because
I'm halfway through now.
Well, yeah.
Even if I'm saying it's not holding my attention enough, it's holding my attention enough that I want to know actually what happens.
You're halfway through.
I'm getting frustrated that I don't already know what's happening. Is more my problem with it.
Which is enough to keep you there. That's all they need, really, isn't it?
Yes, but I've been frustrated for like an episode and a half at this point, so it's like. Come along now.
I mean, tried sitting through Lost series and a half. I was like, no, I'm out. I'm done with this. Too many questions. But with Night Manager, I think the most underrated part of it is Olivia Colman's character.
Yes.
I think she's very good.
I started paying attention again every time she came back on screen.
I did. Every time she's on, I'm like...
My dad was accusing me of watching it for purely for watching Tom Hiddleston. It's like, actually, no, I'm paying attention again when her character turns up.
But I think, as an actress, she's grown so much over the last few years.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole reason Broadchurch Series 2 worked was because of her. Unfortunately... I almost felt David Tennant was phoning it in that, but she saved it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've seen her in a few films where she saved it as well. There was a film recently, or I say recently, it was a few years ago now, called Tyrannosaur, where she played an abused wife, and she brought almost like a soft touch to a very, very difficult to watch film. And it is genuinely difficult to watch. If you want to watch it, but it was difficult to sit through, and it was very near knuckle, quite brutal, quite unforgiving, and it sort of had a bleak ending as well. It wasn't the greatest of endings, which never great in those sorts of films.
Yeah, but I mean, I haven't seen a huge number of things with her in, but when she has been there, you do recognise. You spot her.
And you're like, oh,
okay. This is she's gonna make this good.
But it's just the sort of, again, it's the charisma side of it. I think the whole casting, really, in The Night Manager has been on point.
Yes,
Yeah.
the calibre of acting is fantastic.
Hugh Laurie has that horrible... He's very charming on the surface, but you know deep down inside, he is a horrible, horrible man.
Yeah.
And you haven't seen much of it. You've seen flashes of it, the way he speaks to
But it's enough
his
to get you on edge.
and, like, some of his workers, the way he acts.
And we're being told the whole way through that he's horrible, but at the same time...
He's not so far.
No.
And that's what's foreshadowing, I think. And I reckon possibly in tonight's episode, or maybe a little further, something dark will happen.
Yes.
And that will change the whole perspective.
I mean, the first hint was in the last episode, in episode 3, when he says, "Yeah, I'd like you to work for me," and this line in there saying you're going to be replacing Corky, basically.
I've simply
It's
dispensed with this man
Yeah,
with
it's like,
no hereto whatever. This man has been by my side for...
Yeah, it's like, you told me that he drinks a lot and he might spill the beans, so do you want to do his job?
Yes.
What?
This man's been with you through thick and thin, and you're just dispensing with him like that.
He's actually on the right tracks. and
he's the only one who's suspicious of your spy.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, I think that's always a plot point in these situations.
So it's well played.
It's like that with things like The Departed or Infernal Affairs, which The Departed is a remake of, granted. But with these spy thrillers, often the people, or Last King of Scotland, often the people who suspect that they're a spy are actually right, but are often off before they get the chance to explain.
Classic move.
Which is what you've got to do if somebody is... If you're a spy and somebody is assuming you're a spy.
Get rid of the person who suspects you.
Shut up now.
But then the lead character, it often doesn't make sense. Like, am I going to trust the guy I've known for 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Or am I going to trust the guy I've known for 20 years?
Yeah.
Surely you take the guy for 20 years and go, oi, we're busy, stop drinking, get on with it.
Yeah.
However, there is the problem of you've known this guy for
Mm-hmm.
20 years, you know his flaws.
Yeah.
Somebody points them out to you fresh in a fresh situation, and it's like, yes, these flaws could catch up with us here.
But
Maybe
you
we
also
need to
do
step
get
back.
that situation where the person who's being kicked out is so loyal that they come back and go, "See, I told you," and now and they somehow manage to show it all up at the end.
It depends how far they've been kicked.
Yes.
Is the generally the turning point in
Are
the
they
story.
still alive?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll do a quick score of it out of 10, I guess. So what would you go for?
Currently, are we doing out of stars? How much out of 5 or 10? How are we?
10.
10.
I literally
You
just
10.
said that now.
Sorry, I was too busy thinking to hear. Okay.
Oh dear.
I can't multitask, right?
Well, we have been recording for a while.
Yes.
I don't know. I think I'd give about 7 at the moment. I'm hoping it'll improve.
Yeah, I was going to go for around about 6.5.
Yeah, I was 6.5, 7, but I thought I'd be a bit generous.
I'm going to put it on about a level 5 because I'm hoping it picks up, and the acting is impeccable.
Yes, it is.
You know, it is beautifully shot. It's impeccable. It's just I'm finding it dragging a little in plot. It could be sped up. Is my biggest thing with it.
Perhaps written beautifully, but perhaps quite a lot of waffle.
Yes.
Which we all know.
We are
about.
very good at.
Written beautifully, but could have been written in half the time.
If they wanted faff, they should have got a hold of us.
Yes. Particularly me. This is my cardinal sin with writing things, therefore I know when somebody else is doing it.
Yes. That links very nicely into what we're going to do next, which is the things we've written.
Yes. Which is surprisingly quite concise for me.
Yes, well done you. So, what we're going to do today...
hang on.
Yep.
Are we doing that then?
Yes, we'll keep it in the order. I know that it says something else, but the last one we skipped it, so we'll maybe keep it in the same order.
Does that mean I have to edit this one as well to go?
No, we'll just keep it in order.
Okay.
We'll go with it.
We'll go with it. Keep
I
the
talked
other
about
ones
writing,
for.
we're going with writing.
Okay.
If you're wondering, it's because it says segment 3, the Being Google story.
And segment 4 is reading and writing. But,
however, I saw the link and I ran with it.
We've overwritten it.
Yes, exactly. So we do a thing called Write It Like Bowie. So David Bowie, or Bowie, however you say it. I'm sure Rachel is currently screaming.
Massive fan.
Yeah, massive fan. He used to write songs by taking 2 lines at a time,
random phrases and things.
random phrases, and he would put them together to make songs. So what we do is we get random phrases, we take 3, and we inject them into our stories, and they can range from little prompts like "I love your butler," this is a song, and things like that, to "You concrete brunch,"
and something like "Tum-Tee Tum Tum,"
yeah,
which I have on mine.
That was because I sat down one night, got very bored. We used to have 50 phrases, and then they got a bit samey. So I sat up one night and made 150 more, and I happened to be watching Shrek amongst other things.
Very entertaining.
Yes, very entertaining. We've got like 200 phrases now. So from there, you write the story. You have to interject them into the story in whatever order you want, but they have to go in. So we're going to do 3 different ones because we couldn't find stories where we use the same thing over and over.
I don't think mine actually is a Bowie challenge, or if it is, I didn't write down what they were.
Well, too late now.
We'll do one where we all use the same phrases another time, but this is just an example of how it can work.
Yes. So I'm doing one of my Zeus stories. It's called The Many Adventures of Teenage Zeus, and it's called Release the Kraken. Kirsty is... What are you doing?
I'm doing a Death Chronicle.
Yes. So in our radio play...
which you heard some of last time.
Which you heard some of last time. Slight spoiler territory. Natalie and Kirsty are in a flat in between Series 1 and Series 2, and death comes to visit them quite frequently. Yes, the death with the scythe.
Effectively, my character has, through circumstances that will be revealed at the end of Series 1,
well avoided,
developed the ability to see death and communicate with death. Natalie can't.
Yes.
So naturally,
I have written several short
hilarious
stories.
Situations. Unfortunately, it's not the pigeon story, which is my favourite.
That one needs work. It's not actually done.
And Natalie, which one are you going for?
It's just a little snapshot from a story I've been trying to write, like a novel I've been trying to write, and it's just using the writer like Bowie's. Basically, I have these very like elves and fairies, like your classic mythical creatures, but they live in a world where they are obsessed with going to space. But in this instant, one of the characters has been put in charge of her best friend's pet, which happens to be a chameleon. That's what they keep as pets there. And she has lost his pet and is in a bit of a panic over finding it, basically. That's the gist.
Okay. So my story is going to involve some voices. I apologise in advance. They could all sound the same, or it could be absolutely brilliant. It's not going to be that, but you know, I live in hope one day. So this one's called Release the Kraken, and it's a story about a teenage Zeus's birthday. So my normal voice will be Zeus. We've got Hades, which is a slightly higher voice. You've got Kronos, which is a bit more of a deep Gerard Butler sort of voice. And one that I was really, really toying with whether I should actually do it or not is Poseidon, who's got a bit of a lisp.
Which came from you accidentally saying quacken just now.
Brilliant. Right, so here we go. Understandably, birthday parties are a big deal in my life, mainly because of the bitchin' presents and the massive amounts of booze. I love your butler, Zeusy, Uncle Ares said. I approve of the golden fleece over Medusa's head. No accidental stone gazes, Uncle. And she got to serve her pear and peppered pork with pea puree and pineapple peppermint pies. God, that was a mouthful. There was one problem. Party games. My brother, Poseidon, is a horrifically sore loser. Last year he yelled, "You concrete planch!" at Hades before punching him with a shark. Where he got the shark, we don't know. We were in a cave. This year, we decided to nip all that in the bud. We didn't invite him. And to be extra sure, we took the stairs to the underworld. Red 9! Dad, Kronos, Played a mean game of Uno. Reverse, Hades replied. You little shit! Dad drew in a card. Uno! I yelled triumphantly, before Mother interrupts us. Zeusy! Poseidon's here! He has your present! Dad suddenly looked horrified. You daft woman! Why did you let him in? The tinge of terror in his voice was quite noticeable. Zeusy! Happy birthday! Oh no! Deal me in! 5 minutes of a horrendously tense standoff followed. None of us dared to screw Poseidon over. Even Dad ruined his 100% record on the day. And then it happened. Hades had a card. Hades never wins. Hades forgot our unspoken code. Hades, draw 4, was a dick. Poseidon screamed and flipped over the table. I'll teach you, you little shit! Release the Kraken! I was picking dry squid ink out of my Uno cards for weeks. Zeus out. I've insulted a number of people. I apologise deeply.
They are characters!
It's fantastic.
That's not part of the reason it's the comedy, for the record. He just happens to have a lisp.
Exactly.
Yes.
So, who's going next?
I might go next because mine isn't as good.
You're implying mine is?
Yes.
Well,
Okay.
mine's got us as characters. How weird is that to read?
So that's going to be okay.
It's not weird to read.
So, well, I've got my prompts here anyway for Write It Like Bowie. So I had the phrases just one more, soon we'll be found, and tum-ty-tum-tum.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention my ones. I think
Yeah.
mine was you concrete branch, like draw 4 and I love your butler. I think.
So,
I love your butler. I remember writing a story that has I love your butler in it. I can't find it for the life of me.
I do have it, but that one, oh yeah. So, Tony, where the hell are you, stupid dragon? Hayley was sprawled out on the floor of Rod's bedroom, looking under the furniture. Her best friend's ridiculous chameleon was in her care, and she had lost it. To be fair, Rod frequently lost Tony, and probably expected Hayley to misplace him at some point. However, now was not a good time. Rod would be back from his trip to Orbis in the next hour. The sound of the front door opening and closing captured Hayley's attention. She stayed perfectly still and silent in the hopes that it was Kenzo instead, but the chances were slim. He wasn't meant to get back from Telesto for another 2 days. Hello, I'm back! Hayley shot up, cracked the back of her head on the underside of Rod's bed, then fell back to the floor, swearing with pain. Hello? Rod sounded a little confused now. Hayley had left her shoes and jacket in the hall, so Rod knew she was in. Gathering her scattered brain back, Hayley wiped the tears from her eyes and carefully stood up. Just a sec, she shouted in reply. What are you doing? The sound of footsteps coming up the stairs could be heard behind the closed door. Hayley panicked. How would she explain that Tony was gone and under her care? Just one more! The door handle turned and Rod strode in. Hayley stood awkwardly in the centre of Rod's room and tried to look innocent. What are you doing in here? Rod inquired, dumping his duffel bag to the floor. Tum-ty-tum-tum? Hayley tried. I'm sorry, what? Rod walked over to his computer and turned it on, numerous screens flickering to life. Hayley began. I was just looking for... For what? Rod's green eyes were narrowed with suspicion. Well, you know, she took a deep breath and decided to be honest. It's Tony. What about him? He's gone. Again. No, he isn't. Rod looked amused now. Hayley didn't understand until she followed Rod's eye line down to her left leg. Attached to her trousers, in the exact brown tone of her trousers, was a small dragon figure. In fact, it was a chameleon. Rod's chameleon. Hayley plucked it off and held it at eye level. Tony, you are the most annoying pet ever. If I care for you again, I'm going to put GPS on you. She thrust the chameleon at his owner, feeling very put out. Rod took Tony into his hands and started fussing over him and talking to him like Tony understood. Hayley scoffed but couldn't help a smile at the interaction. Pets and their owners were always so strange. And for some reason I added the word green and just like, why? When are Rod's eyes green? They're not. But for some reason I said green.
Who knows indeed.
Although I quite enjoyed that because I'd forgotten what your solution was of where he was.
I forgot as well, so I read it.
Nice. Excellent.
So you're going to go on to one of your death chronicles.
Yes, which involves the awkward part of reading a story where I'm a character. Because it's not like the actual radio play where it's a script. I write prose.
It's okay. It's about a character called Kirsty.
That happens to be you.
Who doesn't have the same middle name as me. That's about the only difference. Yes.
Yes.
Right. Oh, I remember that the prompt had something to do with a wave of sound.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The wave of sound was almost overwhelming, even from in the hallway. It didn't take Kirsty long to identify the fact that the sound was emanating from inside her flat. It took her longer than normal to get the key in the lock, as she was also trying to protect her ears from the incessant pounding bass. Getting the door open, she was able to identify the sound as the song Get Lucky, which was pouring out of the lounge stereo. Dropping her bag, she saw Nat dancing at the sink, getting foam and bubbles everywhere while she was doing the washing up. Kirsty didn't even bother trying to make herself heard over the music. Instead, headed to the living room and the volume control before the neighbours started to complain to the landlord. Again. Kirsty came to an abrupt halt in the doorway. Death was in the living room. And he was dancing to the deafening lyrics of "We're up all night to get some, we're up all night till the sun, we're up all night to get lucky." He had his back to her, and inside his hood he was unaware that he was now being watched. And he was really getting down, wiggling his bony ass and shaking his way around the room. At the sound of hammering on the ceiling, Natalie ceased her washing up and went to adjust the volume, but found herself halted by Kirsty blocking the doorway. Heads were slowly swivelling as she watched the progress of something that Nat couldn't see. "Death's in here, then!" Nat yelled over the music, making Kirsty jump from her trance of distraction, but also alerting Death to the fact that he wasn't being watched. He spun in what could only be described as a pirouette, and completed his night fever disco point, then froze, presumably staring at his audience, though not that you could really tell under the hood. Death stayed in his rather ridiculous pose as he clearly tried to think of a way out of the situation. "There's a flood in..." He glanced around wildly, appeared to pick a continent at random. "Africa." He promptly vanished, arm still raised. At the sound of more hammering on the ceiling, Kirsty moved to wind the volume down significantly on the stereo, now playing Toto's Africa. "He's gone then?" Nat asked. "I have just seen the Grim Reaper dancing." Kirsty shook her head as if trying to rid herself of the image. "Apparently there is a flood. In Africa." She returned to the hall to pick up her bag from where it had been abandoned and glanced into the kitchen. Did you know you left the tap running?" There was an outburst of swearing as Natalie rushed past her just as the soap bubbles began to overflow the sink and spread across the kitchen floor. And that's the end of it. They're just short snippets of the
I feel like I
break
need
between
a
series.
short series of stories.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, mine's going to stay at 8 stories because...
Maybe I should do more Madison the Cat.
Mine are however many scenarios I can think of that involve death.
Yes.
Being ridiculous. There are some poker ones which are quite funny.
As you wait patiently for me to finish Series 1
Yeah.
and then get on to Series 2.
Yes.
These happened between Series 1 and 2. So.
Although there is a link between Series 1 and Series 2 that I wrote in prose. I write prose very rarely. And it's the one where I've got another version of death and the car crash, if you remember that one. No. I'll explain after the podcast.
Yes, explain later.
Spoilers.
Well, we're not going to be confusing people that don't know what's going on.
Yes. Spoiler territory. So, we're going to go on to our Googling a Bean story. So we're not entirely sure what Natalie's got.
I'm not entirely sure what I've got. It's a short story, but it's a weird one.
Okay, would you like to tell us what it is then?
Okay, so the headline is, "Chef quits his job because of his fear of baked beans." Wait, that's bad. Why did you even choose that career in the first place?
A, how are you afraid of baked beans? And B, how did you get to, work in the food industry if you've got a fear of baked beans?
Apparently, this guy has developed a phobia of baked beans.
Developed?
Yes. He's one of a tiny number of people who have leguminophobia.
There's a name for the fear of baked beans.
Leguminophobia.
Right.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now this is getting ridiculous.
Apparently he feels faint every time he sees what he calls the orange devils. He says, I get shaky and just have to run if they're anywhere near me.
Why?
He reckons that he developed this fear after his brothers threw beans at him when he was a child.
So he got into being a chef after being terrified of baked beans?
Yes. Yes.
I presume he never worked at Wetherspoons or anything like that.
No, he said I was a pub chef and breakfast was hard. Staff had to prepare the beans while I hid in the back.
Oh my god!
Why do you think that was a good career move?
And
clearly he never went to uni, because I think it was a thing at my uni to be throwing baked beans at people's houses, so I don't know how that happened.
Yeah.
They gave out tins of free baked beans and freshers, and they were used as missiles. Not in
What?
the lid on.
What? Like the whole tin?
No, they took the lid off and
right.
just, at the front door.
Oh.
So there were just baked beans at the front door, which is great. Come down to one morning.
Apparently, you can't even go near beans when they're safely in tins in Tesco.
So even looking at the outside of the tin.
Yes.
So what? He like hits one of those invisible walls like in video games, where
But he's now changed careers now, and he's a window cleaner, so he's safe from beans unless someone throws them on the window.
Unless he's dealing with my house as a student or the house around the corner.
Can you imagine that though? Someone comes up like, "Can you come clean my windows?" Like, "Are there beans?"
What did you do about kitchen windows?
I know. Like, someone put their can on the side.
Or if the recycling's out, there's an empty bean.
That is the most ridiculous story I've ever
apparently
heard.
Some behavioural scientist reckons it sounds like a classic phobia, but there's help out there if he wants it.
I don't need to make it up.
I think he should be trapped in the back of baked beans.
if he's that terrified,
I think he has to go visit Barry Kirk.
Yeah, he needs to go clean Barry Kirk's windows.
But if he is that terrified, I want to know how he took this picture.
What picture?
There was a picture of him looking disgusted, holding 2 cans of Heinz beans.
Yeah, clearly he's making it up now.
Clearly not that terrified.
Yeah, you can't be that terrified.
Basically, he wanted a career change and needed a reason.
Yeah, so he went, what's out there? What are people not going to question? I know, I'm afraid of baked beans.
That's clearly a good choice, yes.
Yeah,
But by the way, if he does actually have this phobia...
Sorry,
but still this is how it looks to us.
Hey, if you can't go near them in the supermarket, how have you got a can in each hand?
Yes.
And
really, having
cynical.
beans thrown at you as a child made it...
I mean...
What child does not throw baked beans?
I know!
Yeah,
It's like the primary
there's
missile,
sort of
surely.
something to that, I guess, because when I was a child, I've got to be careful how I say this phrase, I choked on a sausage.
Oh dear!
Yeah, exactly.
At least they came with a warning in advance.
Yes, exactly. When I was a toddler, I choked on a bit of sausage, and I couldn't actually eat any meat after that. I found the texture of meat was horrible.
Because you associated with
that. With that. It was the same with pancakes. I never used to eat pancakes because I became very ill with a stomach bug of some sort after eating pancakes.
That's normal.
I did stop eating duck with orange sauce.
How? What? Because you read the book?
No, because I was ill after eating duck and orange.
Before
Edmund Herondale had the problem. And I was too young to be drinking, so it was definitely the orange sauce. Or possibly the chocolate pudding afterwards, but it was not
That's
nice.
not Cassie Clare's fault.
No, it was before that.
That's up there with someone turning around and saying, I can't eat KFC because I went out and I ate a KFC after a night out and I threw up everywhere. There's nothing to do with the 10 pints beforehand, mate.
I don't like eating Burger King because last time I had one, I was sick with norovirus directly after.
Well, maybe there is something to this baked bean then.
Yes, but most of us have
I'm just going to choose not to eat duck with orange sauce.
Yeah, we've had a bad experience with it, so we choose not to risk it again.
Also, I do remember not particularly liking the orange sauce on the duck as I was
I
eating
don't
it anyway, but my mum had cooked it and I was 14 and I had to eat it.
Well, since we are going into a faff, shall we go into our 5 minute faff?
Yes, we seem to be doing the faff now, so pick a word.
Okay, yes. So
Book,
we're
find a
going
book,
to
not
pick
doing
a
the
book.
again.
What?
So we'll pick a different book. You've got like 100 books on that shelf.
They're my mum's Kathy Wright's book.
It doesn't matter, it's a book.
Yeah, she's a massive
Point to the
Kathy
word.
Wrights fan, so you know.
But she doesn't like the TV series
If
Bones
you
because
like-
it's rubbish
if you
compared to the books.
Yeah, if you like Kathy Wrights, then you know.
Chapter 35, apparently.
If you land on a blank bit, I'm gonna laugh.
She hasn't.
No, I've landed on a name. Pinkney. Pinkney?
Pinkney.
Can we not do a name? Do we do an
Okay.
actual word?
Hang on, let's go.
I'll get the timer ready.
I'm.
Okay, we're gonna have to go with it because we can't. You know, I'm. Oh yeah, this is the pen that didn't work.
My pen, use my pen.
So I'm.
Yeah, well, it's random.
That is the problem. I mean, Pinkney, we probably wouldn't have gone anywhere. Oh.
We can always do the dictionary if you want.
No, actually, you know what? Let's go with Pinkney. Because I know...
Pinckney.
Pinckney.
Pinkney.
What on earth is that?
It's Castle Pinkney, it said on there. But I landed on Pinkney.
Right, so have we got the timer?
We have.
So the 5 minute faff starts now. Okay, so Pinkney, that's not the weirdest last name I've ever heard. But, you know, with my name, it's quite easy.
Wait, your name?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No one knows how to spell my name.
It is.
Yes, well, okay, maybe you do now.
People have asked me to spell my last name.
What, King?
Yes. I have been
letters.
asked to spell the 4-letter word King.
Oh,
Yeah, well, I had a series of phone cards when I was younger.
Which is also
because
a
I was on
problematic name.
Orange,
Yeah.
and they spelled me Lee Ham. All right, Liam is not difficult. It's Liam.
My own grandmother spelt my name wrong. I am her only grandchild, and instead of spelling my name with a Y, she spelt it with an I.
Okay, that is kind of unforgivable.
I am her only grandchild.
Yeah, that in the grand scheme of things. But when it comes to grandparents, they tend to do things.
To be fair, this is the daughter of the woman who called me Curtsy.
My nan often called me by my cousin's name, so it'd be you, come here.
My granddad called me by my mum's name, so it was like, Zena, you, Fred, Bill, Harry, that one.
Like my dad's
Again, only
called me by
grandchild
his
in the
sister's
country.
name before as well.
There's not that many grandkids in my family. I'm the only one that lives in England. I really shouldn't be that confusing
That
to
is
people.
like my mum. She will go, Liam. And the one thing I hate as well when I say my name Liam, it's not a particularly long name, and people will turn around and go, "Oh, do you like being called Lee?" No, I don't like being called Lee. It's Liam. It's not short for William either. It's not Lee. It's not exactly a stretch to go am.
But most people actually seem quite worried about shortening my name, because I really don't mind. I mean, I respond to even things that aren't my name. I mean, at work they went through a phase where they kept trying to call me Hannah and then Charlotte, and I still responded. Like when I first started. It was when I first started.
Oh, they just got your
they just kept getting it wrong for some reason, so I still responded.
Do you have any nicknames at work?
Not at work, but I sort of picked up a nickname in it. Well, it's not even.
It's not really.
nickname.
You can't really shorten my name.
No, but in
not in a way that
in
won't make me
school I
K2.
picked up Snap.
That's a different nickname.
Yeah.
It's not my first name shortened.
Oh no.
Yeah. Or
No,
KK.
No,
I like K2.
My one at work is Liam.
Oh.
Yeah. And it seems to follow me everywhere. It started because there were guys in the foundry at the electroplate factory I worked at. They used to yell Liam as I walked past. And now it seems to have followed me at my current place of work. So I just kind of accept it now. It's not a great nickname.
I've just always had Snat. I don't know how it came about, just Snat.
It started from Scrat.
Did it start from
Scrat
Scrat?
was
Because I was
your
obsessed with
favourite.
Scrat. And then somehow
And then you became Snap.
turned into Snap. Yeah, I have no idea.
I'm not sure. It's somebody
Yeah.
decided to be lazy and to call you Snap.
My mum used to be obsessed with the Ice Age films.
I am
with
still
Scrap.
quite obsessed. And
Her
Have they
username
got,
at one
like,
point.
How to Train Your Dragon. Wow!
Oh,
I mean, see this icon on my laptop? School of Dragons. You have the
mind
game.
you, going on to that, you love Night Vale because that is your background.
I
right
made
now.
that background.
You made that background. That's even more impressive.
Yeah, that took a lot of time. I mean, I made it. Well, I didn't make it completely. It was two different artists had made the different backgrounds, and I merged them together to
Oh, that's
create a
cool.
half and half. Yeah, I do have a version on the microphone device.
Yes. You
Yeah.
can't really look at that one right now.
But on top of all that, you had some like weird ringtones. I've known for a long
I'm
time.
on
you
fire!
Had, yeah,
Fire!
Ooh.
yeah, the whole
I was
Sherlock
going to do
thing.
it again, but that was really my BlackBerry phase.
Yeah.
It was a weird phone.
I had a
text
supernatural
tone.
one at one point.
Yeah.
I used to have the TARDIS
This isn't funny,
materialising.
Well, now I've got one that sounds a bit like a lightsaber. So.
I used to have Castiel going, this isn't funny, Dean. The voice says I'm almost out of
like
minutes.
that.
You know.
Oh, they have a gift for everything, don't they?
They do.
Oh my God, they do.
Oh.
And if they don't turn up, you're like, where are they? Where are
Where's
they?
the supernatural fandom? They'll be here soon.
Yeah, big followers on Tumblr we are,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
that is the one thing I see more often than not is the supernatural stuff.
It's still
yeah.
all over my timeline, and I'm about 3 or 4 series behind at this point.
Oh no, they're
It's absurd.
finishing now, I think, as well. I'm
Ah.
way behind.
Is Series 11 the last one?
I don't know. I keep saying on TV series
Yeah,
finale. Does
well,
that
the-
mean it just that series?
That's
finale?
series-
Or is it
just that
TV
series finale.
series. Probably just
Yeah.
that
The
series.
series finale happened. That's the Carry
I
On My
am
Wayward Son
behind.
episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I am so behind.
I'm very behind. I need to
yeah,
start
I'm very
watching
behind
again.
on a lot of things.
But
at
to
the
be,
moment.
it did feel like it was dragging a bit because you get the same sequence of events.
Oh, and we're up.
Yeah.
Right, I think there was 15 in that. There's actually 17. Hooray!
So after a quick count, we managed to match last week. So
Yeah, which wasn't too bad when you think about it.
Okay.
Oh god.
Here's the beans. And
Not
make sure they're
again.
loose this time.
yeah, because mine stuck in the bottom of the canister last time, and I
Yeah.
dropped it. And
They're
Which
all
gave
loose.
me some false hope.
Yes.
I do apologise.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm just
I've been
handing
given
them out
one.
now because it's not like we
Nobody
know
has
which
any
one's
idea.
which.
Oh,
Okay, shot them again.
hold on. Yeah, right.
Right.
Pop him and shot him. Vomit! 2 weeks in a row.
I hate you both.
It's not like we know what's in the canisters.
Oh, what was your one?
Mine's
I think it's
watermelon.
safe to say we know which one my one was.
I'm not sure what
Vomit.
it was.
Mine was watermelon.
I
Yours
think it was a
was
fruity one.
probably was. I think it was
Yeah.
a yellow one. But no,
Could be banana.
maybe mine. No, I don't know.
Sorry, Liam.
That is it for today's episode.
Yep.
Thankfully, I'm not doing that again. Next episode, we're going to do something called B3an Pod the album. We're going
Which
to go
requires
through.
homework.
Yeah, so it requires some homework for us. We're going to do what we would say is an album of ourselves, and since we're on YouTube,
God,
we'll
it's gonna
probably
be so
put.
hard.
Yeah, we're going to put the links in the description
Yeah.
on that episode. We have to go through things like what we would have as our entrance music and things like our guilty pleasure. And then we're going to talk about what would we put on the cover art, because frankly, that will be ridiculous if it's the three of us. It's just going to be a mashup of all things.
Yeah.
We'll have another Bean story. We're going to do a round robin for our writing challenge,
See what happens.
which could go one of two ways.
I think we know which way it's going to go.
Yep, the 5 Minute Faff and the pod challenge, which is turning into let's give Liam the worst thing ever. So on that note, I think it's time to say goodbye. So I'm Liam,
I'm Natalie.
And I was Kirsty.
and I will see. We will see you next time. Maybe I'll be
We'll
dead
see
though.
you. Yeah, Liam might have taken himself out of the running to avoid any more bad beans.
So we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. which didn't exist until Liam accidentally said quacken about 2 hours ago.
Don't tell him that! You could have at least made it out that was a character trait for quite some time.
It has been for quite some time.
Not 2 hours, you could have said 2 months.
Sorry.
Oh, great, edit that out. 2 months.
About 2 months ago.
There we go.
There's your cut, okay?
Oh, it's okay, we can put that in the blooper and incriminate me instead. Fantastic. Thanks, Kirsty.
Well, you get a given name and then, oh yes.
Yeah.
We're just preparing for the bean challenge.
We know the bean challenge is coming, we're preparing juice.
Look, if anyone's got to be preparing, it's going to be me. Let's be honest.
Have you got any apple? You got some apple?
Oh, am I? Excellent. So yeah, my apple juice addiction is going to help the situation. I have drunk a whole litre. It says one of your 5 a day. Is that the whole litre?
That's 250 ml.
Oh.
Yes, but when it says 5 a day, it means 5 different things.
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
Counts
I'm
as
aware
4
of that.
of
It
them.
doesn't count.
Just making sure.
Yeah.
So far I've had rotten egg and vomit. I think I'm going to have to...
They are the worst ones.
I'm going to have to get you two back at this rate.
It's alright, we still got our baked bean and custard one to do.